Thank you for tuning in to Not Just Girl Talk with Tiffany and Ashanti. Make sure you got a beverage in your hand. Sit back, relax, and engage with us. Thank y'all for tuning in to Not Just Girl Talk. I am your host, Ashanti.
And I'm your host, Tiffany.
And welcome back to another week of us. Thank y'all for continuing to show support and love. We thank you so much for that. And y'all already know how we do. So before we get started, Tiffany gonna let y'all know where you can tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Not Just Girl Talk.
Yes. Please make sure you guys are following us on IG at NotJustGirl_Talk. Again, that's IG at NotJustGirl_Talk. Also, follow us on our Facebook page at Not Just Girl Talk Podcast with Tiffany and Ashanti. Again, that's Facebook, Not Just Girl Talk with Tiffany and Ashanti. And we're also available on YouTube at Not Just Girl Talk Podcast. Again, make sure you subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel at Not Just Girl Talk Podcast. And of course, we're in the Twitter universe at Not Just Girl T. And lastly, our bubbling TikTok account at Not Just Girl Talk Podcast. Not Just Girl Talk Podcast.
Yes, definitely make sure y'all tune in. And please be subscribing to us on our YouTube. We have had a lot of subscribers come in week after week, so we definitely appreciate that. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Join the team and the family. We love to have you a part of us. So, beverage of the day. So I'm gonna start off. This is juice.
I'm not judging.
It is just in my wine glass, but it's I think you pronounce it Suja, Suja. It's a healthy juice that I get from Sprout. It's really good.
Okay.
I know Tiffany like.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm not judging. I
What you got? You got some naked over there?
No, actually, I am doing actually a different wine, and I know it's a dulce something, but it's dulce something, but it's a sweet wine. It's pretty good. Because I knew I had to re-up on my wine because I was running low. Just had the Moscato sparkly, and I was like, I need a little.
Okay, is it? So you said it's sweet? Is it sweet as Moscato or not as sweet?
Sweet as Moscato.
Oh, okay. See, I don't like sweet wine. I like a Chardonnay.
See,
I like
Chardonnay
Grigio.
too, but Chardonnay I can do, but that's like if I'm going out like this, I know it's strong enough. If I'm just want to sip and relax, this is so see.
Yes. Anytime I sip, I need a little buzz. I can't just be sipping to be,
You like don't waste some calories on.
I need like if I'm a sip, I need to be like a little
sip
bit,
with a purpose.
a little something.
Sip with a purpose. I get it.
So let us know what y'all drinking on and sipping on while y'all listening to us. So what's your week been like? What you been up to? What's been popping?
Girl,
did you say Halloween?
Yep, that's what I was saying. We had Halloween, and I don't know that we didn't record Halloween. So man, that was just an adventure. So we went to the mall. They did the little trick-or-treating there. I'm like, yeah, that's enough. We went out to eat. I'm like, good. We done carved and painted our pumpkins. So I'm team mom. And it was our homecoming. So it's our homecoming and Halloween.
Yeah.
And TSU homecoming, which I don't know why they keep doing that, but they do. But I'm like, I'm about to kick it. I'm doing all this. Didn't. I was painting and carving pumpkins with my babies. I just couldn't.
You ain't go out at all. You ain't go out. You ain't kick it.
No, the weather too. That can throw me off at this age of mine. I'm not. It wouldn't. I wasn't about that. So we end up doing trick-or-treating with the girls at the mall. Like I said, did the pumpkins and tried to get into the house, and they had already started my neighborhood girl. So I had to go around the neighborhood too. But they had a good time though. They had a good time. They had so much candy that they know they can't eat all of, but they had a good time, and that's what it ended up being all about, my babies.
Okay.
But how was your weekend, or how have your weekends been?
Well, since I've been down, can't do too much of nothing. Can't barely walk. But anyway, I digress. So, the kids, they did go in the neighborhood with their friends and hung out. Actually, so the twins are in seventh grade and Jade in eighth. So the twins come to me, they 12, they'll be 13 this year. It was like, Mom, it's this party. We want to go to this party. We got invited to a party. I was like, okay, that's fine. What time the party start? 7 p.m. Like a nighttime party? Like, what time is over? They was like 11. Y'all going to a 7 to 11?
Listen.
When y'all start going to the 7 to 11 parties? So I'm like, oh my goodness, it is really happening. I have a house full of teenagers. Like, life is really hit, like, uh, oh my goodness. So I did let them go, but they went with Jay because the person that invited them, it was a guy. He's in eighth grade with Jade, but he know the twins. So everybody went. I went over there. It was outside. It was a nice little gathering, but I'm just like, wow. I don't have no little babies. When they go into the 7 to 11, boy, girls, hangouts, they're not little. So this weekend was kind of like, ooh, it was different. It was really different. Look, eye openers. I was like, ooh, okay, I'll let y'all go, but whew. So it's like that right now for us in my space with the kiddos. So that's pretty much happened to me. I realized that I don't have no little babies no more.
Yes, and it's crazy that you're in that space and I'm in the space tired because I'm having to do all the, because it's exciting for my small kids. Yours can do it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
They can go around neighborhood.
Well, I like to take them. This year, unfortunately, I was not able to take them, but I like to drive them. Well, I drive them but they're capable normally
of doing it. They capable of getting out, walking.
Mm-hmm. But then it's not nerve-wracking, but I was like, are y'all together? Make sure you're with your brothers. Make sure your sister don't leave them behind. So all of that. But yeah, they was able to go on by themselves and hang out and treat it up. So I was like, dang, what I'm gonna be doing next year? I'm really gonna be chilling. I guess I gotta stay at home now and pass out the candy.
Yeah. So, my neighborhood, they was passing out candy. We ain't had no candy. So, but we were trying to get them because I think they had to use the restroom before we went to walk around. Mm-hmm. Girl, somebody rung our doorbell. Like, we ain't have our lights on. I think it's etiquette. My lights ain't on. I ain't got no candy. But I'm taking my keys to get candy from your folks. I did feel trifling. Just don't judge me.
I may have to be passing out next year because they
I might have to. I had to be conscious of it.
Yeah, they like deuces, Mom. We got this. I'm like, dang. All right. Okay, girl. Mm-hmm. Let me moving into our sip on it or speak on it. Tiffany, what topic we got for today? Y'all make sure y'all got some of y'all hand to sip on, because that's why we have our beverage of the day. Then we have our sip on it and speak on it. So make sure you got your beverage. Make sure you commenting. Yes, commenting.
Yes.
In this section. So Tiffany, what we got for our sip on it or speak on it?
Well, this is probably going to lead into our topic today, but so I watch Red Table Talk every once in a while, and I see Will and Jada in the headlines, and I'm like, oh, what done happened? And apparently on her show on Facebook Watch, Red Table Talk, she was just saying, I think they had an episode over sex and things like that, how to keep the spice in your relationships. She was just saying, she was being honest, I felt. But a lot of people, I guess, because from previous Red Table Talk, it was big controversy around her with her entanglement with August Alsina. So, they like whatever she say that's kind of downing or seemed to them, they just took it and made it a headline that she said that she wasn't satisfied with sex in her marriage and all of that. And I don't take stuff for face value. That's why I said, let me watch what she actually said, because I hadn't watched the episode yet. And she was just pretty much like, they've been married 20 years and it's hard to keep a healthy sex life. I think she was being honest, and I think anybody that has been married that long wouldn't tell you any different. Yeah, so she was getting that, and she was like, I think it was a clip they took that she said, well, she expects her significant other to maybe know what she wants and things like that. But I think it was all taken out of context. I really do. Because
I would agree.
She didn't. She was just saying how it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to communicate and about sex, but it doesn't mean that you're not happy having sex with your husband. I just
Right. And at that certain 20, it's about 20 years.
Exactly.
So within the course of 20 years, yeah, there are going to be some great hot moments and some dull, dry moments. I mean, you've evolved as a person. Think about that as well. When you I look at it also from an age perspective. So think about at the age that they are over the course of 20 years, things have changed from one age to the next, before kids, with kids. You talking about a lot of stuff that happens in that span of time that can definitely cause a strain on the sex life.
Yeah.
So I'm here for her comment because she can definitely express how she feels, and I don't think it was in a negative manner, and kind of talking about their sex life, if you will. It was more so expressing how she's felt throughout the course of their sex life. And just, I'm gonna say, just being a woman and just in a marriage, experiencing the different phases that marriage and sex brings. I
And
don't think it was nothing negative on him.
yeah, and the comments were just dragging her. Like, they were like, Will, you need to pack your bags and go. If you don't leave, you ain't got no, balls and all of this stuff. Like, they was dragging him. Like, one, I think Will don't care nothing about what y'all saying, because he good. But it's just like, dang, how she get backlash over just giving her opinion that is validated because she's been married 20 years. I think her opinion was validated. So I don't know.
They just don't want to give grace. You know how people are, they don't like to give grace because of her entanglement with
leave her and all of this. Well, you need to stay in your relationship. How about that? If it's
we're acting like you out here popping it up, you just popping.
Yes.
Come on now, stop it. If we go and ask somebody who you've been with, what they gonna say? What's your wife gonna be saying? So
and I feel like you can't judge if you're not in the same situation. Have you been married 20 years when you're making these comments? So have you, you know what I'm saying? Or are you married and making these comments? So, it's several levels. So I think that,
you sleeping around making the comments, because if you're sleeping around, it's always fun.
Yeah, you can assume stuff all day, but when you're not, let's just watch with the opinions on somebody else's marriage. Like, that's her show. She do it. I like it. And a lot of people watch it. So, and people run with it. I think people didn't probably even listen to it or read what was said. Read the transcript. I think they was just like, oh, Jada, the headline said Jada embarrasses Will again. Something like that. So, whatever.
Oh, I can see that. So let us know what y'all feel about the topic. I'm sure y'all have already seen it, but if y'all got something to say, put it in our comments. And if you don't have nothing to say, just take a sip on it.
Yeah.
So and this is actually a good segue into our topic of discussion. So our topic for today is, Tiffany, you want to start with it, or?
Yes. So we do with that controversy, and we wanted to know pretty much, can a sexless relationship survive? So say relationship, because everybody's not married, but you may be in committed relationships. But can that survive? You only know what your relationship, what your expectations are, but can you survive that? And I just thought that was something good to give an opinion on and just talk about. Let's chat it up. But yeah, I pretty much think that it just depends on the expectation you have for sex. We did an episode on love and dating. Go back and check it out, where we had talked about 5 love languages and, physical touch. Physical touch is not just sex. It's holding hands, it's the cuddling, it's the, affection, just kissing and things like that. So it depends on what's important to each other. So the first thing, you got to communicate what you want. How do you know if it's sexless? Are you not happy with that? Are both of you guys on the same page? That's the first thing that you got to determine. But I think it just depends. The first step, like I said, is to communicate, and who's willing to compromise. Because that's always going to be, because if somebody says that they're not happy or in this relationship and or marriage, then that's when you got to put steps or ignore it if it's worth fighting for. So if it ain't worth it, you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's worth fighting for, I do think it's worth trying some different things. Like I know Tia, one of the twins, her and her husband schedule sex. And I was like, who schedules sex? At first, when I heard it.
I seen it. I heard her say that.
Girl, I was like, who's scheduling sex? I'm like, dang. 2 kids later, I'm like, what? I kind of see where she's going with that. Kind of like, because it makes you, or it holds you accountable. It holds you accountable in your marriage. In my case, my marriage, like it holds me accountable. Like, oh, if we were to schedule sex, like, oh, I know.
Can't.
See, I've not, but I'm saying I don't think it's a bad idea. I
guess for me,
but I've considered it, like, because I think you can get lost in life. Life be life, and as we said, you can get lost in it. You worried about kids, the job, the make sure the household running, all of these things. And if your significant others, their number one love language is physical touch, that's part of it. It's not all of it, but are you putting that energy and effort into that? So.
Okay, so I agree with the expectation part, but also for me, what are we basing that on? What makes it sexless? Is it how much? How often? Because some people drive is different. So if you saying, yeah, we have sex like once a month, once or twice a month, you should be good. Like, what's up? And your spouse is like, no, whether it be the male or female, he or she is like, no, I need 3-4 times a week. So I think we have to also go back to, like you said, expectations. But in setting those expectations, we also need to know what is that you consider to be sexless. Is it how many times? Is it the intimacy part? Because also I feel like you can be intimate with each other without being physical. So just like you said, the cuddling, the touching, the affection, like all of those things can definitely be an intimate moment without the physical activity of sex. And if it's lacking that, somebody may consider that as sexless, because let's say, for example, yeah, I'm having sex with you. Yeah, you want to have sex, that's fine. But then the steps leading up to having sex are missing. The cuddle, the kiss, the caressing, all of those things are missing. So I would consider, okay, some would say that is a sexless marriage, because we're missing all those important intimate elements before we actually get to the physical part. So that's something that I would consider as well. And this goes back to expectations, knowing what each other wants. Now the scheduling, because my mind, I'm just like, okay, today is the day. Like,
see, but
I don't know.
But my therapist says that's help. She's like, even if you don't schedule it with your spouse, schedule it with yourself, so that you're being intentional. I was like, okay, right. So that on this day or whatever, or however often, I'm just going to initiate too. So not only I know this my night, but you're gonna put effort and initiate all of the above, because I want to show that I'm putting forth an effort, or you're putting forth an effort. So that's kind of a good idea, because I do think life is just, you get caught up and things like that. And I think that people, or men and women, go through different phases of sexual urges, if you will. So I think like women in their 40s, they reach their sexual peak. Men, it ain't, you know what I'm saying?
It ain't the
So it's
same.
not, I'm not gonna say it's everybody, but I mean that is statistics show that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if a woman just want it, and then the guy can't keep up, it doesn't mean it's sexless. It's just that's the phase you're in. But if you're married or you're in a committed relationship, how do you
Mm-hmm.
deal with that going forward? I think the only person that can tell that is sexless is if they're saying, a significant other is saying they're unhappy with the amount of time that you're having sex. And if that's the case, I mean, I do feel like in a marriage you need to compromise. But I also think you need to look at all of those love
I
languages,
was just trying to say,
because
I like the
we say
compromising
physical
piece.
touch. We say
Mm-hmm.
physical touch and all this, yes, the cuddling and all of that, but we don't need to leave out what is your significant other's love language, because like we were saying in that love and dating episode, hey, if
Mm-hmm.
you do something, I ain't got to think about it. If you are acts of service for me,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be more readily available because you've done something I had to think about, and you're just
Yep.
helping. So that, you know, so it's things like both of you guys have to get on the same page when it comes to that. I just think that, can it survive? Absolutely. But I mean, the only person that can determine that it's sexless is your significant other, you or your significant other. You can feel like I ain't
Right.
getting enough or whatever. And so then you deal with it accordingly by compromising and saying, well, let me be intentional about my acts going forward. What can I do? Because if it's worth fighting
And I
for,
think it's
you're gonna make
about
it work.
right. And also, when is this conversation being brought up? Like sometimes it can be too
Yeah.
far gone. Now we're discussing it in a more not a conversational environment, but more in an argumentative environment or more of a hostile environment. So somebody may not be receptive to the information. So I think you need to like you said, in y'all compromise and conversation, it needs to be brought up sooner rather than later. Especially if it's something that's bothering the parties, whomever it's maybe bothering. Because sometimes, believe it or not, the women be like,
I'm
hold
telling
up,
you,
you need to, what's
drop it
up?
like
What's
it's
going
hot.
on?
Drop it, drop
Because then most women get to thinking, like, okay, you doing something else? You with
it.
somebody, like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
you right.
You ain't
You
did
right.
X,
What's
Y, and
going
Z.
on?
You ain't touched me, you ain't this. And then he probably over there thinking, like, I'm just gonna see how long it's gonna be before she try to initiate something. So now
Yeah,
we playing read your mind games.
yeah. See,
So I mean, it's the truth. It happens. So we gotta start communicating with each other, and that way I think it won't be perfect. Nothing will be perfect, but at least the conversation is had, and at least the expectations are set, and both parties are aware of what's needed. So can a sexless marriage survive? Nope.
you don't think so?
I don't think so.
See,
But
I
now
think if
I'm
you're
saying,
willing to work, it's your willingness to work towards it being better, to
well, we're
both
saying,
parties
well,
being
for
happy,
yeah,
satisfied enough.
if both parties can work to a common goal and they can rejuvenate their sex
Yeah,
life, yes. But if they don't work it out and they just kind of say, well, we just don't have sex in our household, no, the marriage
no.
cannot survive.
And then, like you said, what's sexless? Like I said,
Hmm.
a significant other has to determine that if you're feeling that way. But I mean, if your mate is saying, I need to have it 3-4 times a week, well, the compromise might be 2 times a week. Can you handle that? If not, then that's a situation where you're not willing to compromise. So you're not. That's that willingness to work towards it.
Hmm.
Of course, you got sex therapists and all these things, and like Jada, like I mean, you've been married, like in that, sip on it or speak on it.
Hmm.
Married 20 years, and then you're married a long time, and life be life, and kids come and all of that. So that has to be taken into factor too. And it can be
Yeah.
male or woman. Where I
So
think,
I do
like you
think.
said, you're gonna go through
Mhm.
different peaks. Yeah.
Yep. So it's gonna definitely be the highs and the lows. But if you all stay in that low valley, you'll never come up. No, we just stay down there. No, we're not. The marriage is just not
Yeah.
gonna survive.
You're not working towards it. And then, like, your significant other may be okay with once a week, or what, you know what I'm saying? Y'all may,
Hmm.
or,
And
I don't
people
know. I should
sometimes
have
you
looked that
have
up. Let me look. I don't have my phone. I was gonna
Well,
look up.
sometimes people
What's
have
the?
spurts.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I'm
like you
saying.
may be like, oh, we had sex
Let me see if I can
four,
look.
5 times, like back to back to back. Then all of a sudden, we just got a spell. Then nothing's happening. So I think it's just about what y'all kind of decide to do,
Yeah,
pretty
I
much.
wish I could look up what
What you was trying to look up?
the average amount of time that couples have sex. What's normal or average for couples to have sex in committed monogamous relationships?
We got to be specific.
Yeah,
Monogamous, not just.
yeah, with each other, not others. Because when we say, I have to say monogamous because and it's different for dudes because they can, be done and
Okay. A study in 2017. This was just came up. I mean, I know this kind of old. But it stated that once a week.
once a week.
Hmm.
Interesting. Girl, life been life.
Just normal sex in marriage. Hmm. It says that in 2017 study found that the average adult currently enjoys sex 54 times a year, which equates to about once a week. So the average is once a week. So anybody going for more than that, you're
You ain't doing
overachiever.
something.
You're
Yeah.
overachiever.
Yeah, I think in the world of COVID, though, something spiked up, though. I think after COVID, because people were around each other, either they hate each other or they all over each other. Because that's where you see the COVID babies that are just,
So yep, that was in 2017 though. But yeah, once a week.
Yeah, well, thank you for looking it up, friend.
So if you're having sex once a week, you are within the average that you're supposed to be having sex as a married couple. Okay.
Well,
And they say enjoying sex. So let's start, that's important.
that is
Now
important.
that's the key
That
word
is
right
important.
there.
Because you can, I would think your significant other gonna be like, dang, you sitting up here looking like, all right, come on, and you not into it. That's a hurt to your ego.
It can be, but some dudes don't care. They may
Just
not
on a
care.
mission. On a
Just
mission.
hey, I just got to give me. Let's just get this done.
On a mission.
Oh goodness, y'all! Let us know what y'all think. Can a sexless marriage survive? Um, Let us know your opinions. If it's something that we didn't think about, that you are, you can say, well, what about this scenario or this scenario? Put that in our comment section. We'll love to communicate back with you. Definitely. And then we'll talk about it on our next show as well if you put a comment in. So definitely let us know what you think about the sexless marriage. Can it survive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
let
us know, you guys. Please, let us know because I guess we saying overall, one saying no, I'm saying yeah, but with some ifs, in there. So it can't just be yes without work. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay, Tiff got our soul food. Y'all already know we like to leave y'all with something to feed your soul for the week. Tiffany, what you got?
Yes. So our soul food for this week, since we're talking about relationships, whether it be marriages or just committed relationships, I wanted to talk about partnerships or find something on partnerships. So soul food for this week is the strength of the team, is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. The strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team.
Come through, Tiff.
I'm trying to say it takes both of you. It takes all of you working together.
Yes. So that's our soul food. Let that feed your soul for the week. And as we wrap our show up, it's 2 things that we want you to do when you're listening to Not Just Girl Talk. Number 1 is refill your cup
and vibe with Tiffany and Ashanti.